Yeah, we did one problem, right? Based on time period and all those things. Wait, I'll show you. So in my records, I have this as the last problem that we solved. That is, the rocket has been launched from Earth. Those things, right?
Yes, sir. This one.
So this one is this problem. This is the problem we solved in the previous class, last problem, right? So we'll get started with the next part also. Just to warm up, we'll do another problem, then we'll go to the remaining concepts. So let's see the fifth problem. This is a 2016 mains problem. Srivatsan, is there any exam in your school today?
No, sir. Nigel, sir.
Nikhil, what about Siddharth? Siddharth, is there any exam test in your school?
No, sir.
No, right. Okay. Okay then. Is the class getting recorded? Can you check, please? Srivatsan, someone can confirm. Is this getting recorded?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Okay, let's do this problem. Okay. So there is a satellite which is revolving in a circular orbit at a height h from the Earth's surface, and the radius of the Earth is considered to be r, and h is very much less than r. So what they're asking is, what should be the minimum increase in its orbital velocity so that the satellite could escape from the Earth's gravitational field is close to how much value? So how to solve this? So what is the idea you people are getting? Hmm? So how do we proceed? Tell me. No idea? So what is that you're able to understand? Varun, Rahul, anyone? So how to solve this? So let's convert it into a diagram first. So they are saying a satellite is revolving in a circular orbit at what height? At a height h, where h is very much less than r. So the minimum increase in its orbital velocity required so that the satellite could escape from the Earth's gravitational field is close to what value? So first of all, tell me, what is this orbital velocity?
Sir, the velocity with which it revolves around the Earth.
It is revolving around the Earth. It can be any other planet also. If suppose you give the velocity to the object such that our intention is to put this object in a circular orbit, okay, around the planet, then this minimum velocity is what is called as orbital velocity. Now question is, what is the value of orbital velocity? V naught is equal to how much? So how do we calculate it? See, for example, when I asked you to calculate escape velocity, what was the concept we used? We used the concept of conservation of energy, right? In a similar way, how do we calculate the orbital velocity? See, what kind of an orbit are we trying to talk about?
Circular.
Circular. So for any object to be in a circular path, what is a necessary force?
Centripetal force.
Okay. So what is the value of centripetal force if the mass of the satellite is m? So m into v naught square divided by r plus h, accepted, is provided by which force?
Gravitation force.
Force of
Yes,
attraction.
G. So Gm into capital M, where capital M is the mass of the Earth, divided by Re plus H the whole square. Accepted. Now R plus, okay, this is also Re plus H. So this and this will get cancelled. Small m will get cancelled. V naught will be root of G capital M divided by Re plus H. But what is the important point given in the question? H is very much less than R, which implies R plus H can be, that is Re plus H can be approximated to Re. So what will happen in this place? It will be root of Gm divided by Re. Correct? Or it is root of Gm into Re divided by Re square. Is this right? So what is the Gm divided by Re square?
Small g.
It is small g. This is nothing but root of G into Re. Okay. So what you need to remember is this is the formula for the orbital velocity provided the object is revolving close to the surface of the Earth. Okay. So orbital velocity is root of G into Re. And you know the formula for escape velocity, that is root of 2gr. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is, for this problem, you need to start solving from this step. Till here, okay, till this step, whatever I explained was only the concept. So you need to start solving this problem from V naught is equal to root GRE and V is equal to root of 2GRE. So how much is the increase value? Increase is nothing but final minus initial. So finally, they are expecting the object to attain escape velocity. Initially, it is having orbital velocity. This will be root of GR into root 2 minus 1. So this is the answer. And the reason why they have mentioned is close to, they didn't call it as is exactly equal to. They didn't use the word equal to, they used close to. Why is the word close to used here? Because the approximation is being done here. See, actually the formula of orbital velocity is not root GRE. It is root of Gm divided by Re plus H, where H should be taken into consideration. But since in this problem, the value of H is small, they are saying it's an approximated value. Okay, you need to be careful with that point. Is there any doubt, guys? So root GR into root 2 minus 1. Is there any doubt?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So can we proceed with the next concept? Listen. So we have seen what is gravitational potential energy, right? See, gravitational potential energy, the formula is U is equal to minus G into capital M into small m divided by R. Okay. So the negative sign indicates that the gravitational potential energy decreases with increase in distance. Secondly, if you need to calculate the value of the gravitational potential energy at a height h from the surface of the Earth, then what is going to be the formula? The gravitational potential energy at a height h will be equal to minus g into m divided by r plus h. Is this right? Then what happens is we can actually change and manipulate the formula and write it as small m into small g into r divided by 1 plus h by r. How can we do this, guys? So please make a note of this formula, okay? It is minus g capital M into small m divided by, if I take that r outside, it is going to be 1 plus h by r. Accepted? Now comes another point. If I make this as r square, then I need to compensate with an r on the top. So what is this gm divided by r square, guys? It is small g. So minus mgr divided by 1 plus h divided by r. So this is another way of representing. I hope it is clear. Right? So if there is any confusion, please ask. Next. The gravitational potential energy of a two-particle system is given by the formula U is equal to minus G m1 into m2 divided by r, where m1 and m2 are the mass of the individual objects and r is the distance of separation between them. Okay. Suppose you have a system of more than two particles, then what we need to do is we need to write the gravitational potential energy of each combination and then add them. Why are we adding them is because potential energy is a scalar quantity. So scalar quantity can be added directly. So that is why if you see, if you have an n particle system, there are a total of n into n minus 1 by 2 pairs of terms that are going to be written here. Okay. Suppose you have three objects in your hand. If you want to write the gravitational potential energy of the system, then you will have 3c2 number of terms. That is nothing but 3 into 3 minus 1 divided by 2, which will give us 3. You will have three terms. What are the three terms? It will have m1, m2, m2, m3, and m3, m1. Okay. Guys, I hope it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Right. Next is, wait, I think I missed a page. Okay. So here, see, if you want to calculate, so that was about potential energy. You know what is potential also? Gm divided by R, right? So if suppose you want to calculate the potential due to a spherical shell. So if you want to calculate the potential due to a spherical shell outside the surface. So what do you mean by a spherical shell? The one which does not have any mass inside, right? So if you want to calculate it outside the surface, what is going to be the formula? It will be minus g into capital M divided by small r, where r is the distance from the center to the point where you're calculating the gravitational potential. Similarly, if you want to calculate it on the surface, it will be minus gm by r. Similarly, inside also it is minus gm by r. So I will suggest you a shortcut to remember this. Okay. So this year, that is in your 12th standard, see, by now you would have understood that the first chapter mainly speaks about electric field. The second chapter mainly speaks about electrostatic potential, right? So if I take a spherical shell into consideration, so if I take a spherical shell, what is the electric field due to it at a point outside? If I take a point P here, okay, and the charge that is given to the spherical shell is Q, and if I call the distance from center to point P as R, okay, what is the value of electric field, guys? It is KQ divided by
R square.
yes, KQ divided by R square. Okay. Now we have a relation between, we have a very important relation between electric field and potential. What is it?
E is equal to V into
Yes.
dV by dr.
Can you repeat it again? E is equal to electric field also has another name, right? It's called as some gradient.
Potential gradient.
Potential gradient.
It's
dV by
called
dt.
as potential gradient. So E can also be written as minus dV divided by dr. So dV will be equal to minus E into dr. Correct? Now tell me one thing. Then V will be equal to minus of integral of E into dr. That is KQ divided by R square into dr. So minus KQ. Integral of dr by R square will be 1 by R, minus 1 by R. Okay. So are you able to understand what will happen here? So KQ divided by R. Puriyada? Is it clear? So there is a reason why I'm saying all these things. Now I'm just trying to do a reverse method of remembering. So one more important point that we would have noted down this year is, what is electric field? Is it a so electric force, is it conservative in nature or non-conservative in nature? The electrostatic force, is it conservative or non-conservative?
Conservative.
It is conservative. Okay. So when I say E is equal to minus dV by dr for a conservative force here, just a minute. Look at the manipulation I'm doing. When I say E is equal to, I ignore the minus sign, okay, dV by dr. If I multiply with Q on both the sides, okay, what is this Q into E going to give us?
Force.
It is force, okay? And we know that there is a minus sign, minus of, what is this Q into dV? What is the charge? Sorry?
dW.
It is du. That is potential energy, right? Potential energy is what is the work done, right? Minus du divided by dr. Can I say this relation holds good? Are you able to understand it? So F will be minus du by dr, and this is a very, very, very important relation for all the conservative forces that are existing in nature. So why I'm saying this is, you might have problems where they will give you potential energy and ask you to calculate the force. At that time, what you're supposed to do, suppose the potential energy is a function of distance, then you need to just differentiate it with respect to distance and put a minus sign. Does this make sense?
Yes, sir.
Right? So please make a note of this point. See, whatever we are learning here is the same thing applicable for the first two chapters of our 12th also. Okay, please make a note of this. We will do some problems also based on this. Okay, so that's what the relation between the gravitational field and the potential also remains to be the same. See, if change in gravitational potential at a point is dV, and the gravitational field intensity is E at that point, okay? So remember one important thing, guys. It is very, very simple grammar in physics. If I speak about force or potential energy, listen to my statement. Is this right? Force and potential energy can be defined at a point. In the case of gravitation and electrostatics, can I say calculate the force experienced by this object at a point? Calculate the potential energy of the system at a point. Is this statement right? Guys, are you able to understand what I'm asking? Listen to my statement again. I'm giving you a question where there are two masses which are separated by distance r. I'm saying calculate the force that is existing for the system at a point. Is my question valid?
Sir, no.
Why? No is
Because
right.
the
Yes.
Gravitational field is uniform at all points.
இல்லடா நான் என்ன கேட்குறேன்னா I'm just trying to teach you the grammar, okay? Question எப்படி analyze பண்ணுன்றது I'm trying to teach. I'm trying to put a question like this, saying that calculate the potential energy of the system at a point. Think about it. Is this right?
Sir, system and point.
Yes, it cannot exist together.
Yes, sir.
Actually, it's not like that. So it's not about the system and point also. What is the formula for U? It is Gm1 m2 divided by R. So in physics, okay, whichever physical quantity is going to involve more than one mass or more than one charge, something like that, that can be so those parameters can be calculated only between the objects. It cannot be calculated at a point. Similarly, if I talk about electric field and potential, I can say what is the value of the electric field intensity at a point. I cannot say what is the electric field intensity between the charges. That doesn't mean, that is not right. So what I'm trying to convey here is, whenever you know force, the equivalent parameter that you can always calculate is potential energy. They both are interrelated. In a similar way, wherever you know electric field, the parameter which is linked to it that you can calculate is the potential. Whether it is electrostatic or gravitational, that is what you can calculate. Okay. So that is why if you see, if the change in gravitational potential at points, they use the word point, they never use the word system. Okay. At points is dV, and the gravitational field intensity is E. This is also existing at a point. Then what is the relation between them? dV is equal to minus E into dr. Okay. So if the electric field is expressed as a three-dimensional parameter, which is Ex I cap plus Ey j cap plus Ez k cap, and dr is represented as dx I cap plus dy j cap plus dz k cap, then dV will be equal to what? Minus Ex into dx minus Ey into dy minus Ez into dz. That can be easily obtained by doing the dot product between these two. So once you do the dot product, then electric field at x is given as minus, this is read as dou v by dou x. Have you heard this before? It is not d, it is dou.
Partial differentiation, sir.
It's called partial differentiation. Means you need to, when you're differentiating something with respect to x, you need to keep the other two parameters constant. That is, y and z are taken to be constant. Okay. Most of the time, these kind of problems come in the exam. So how to calculate is, I will just give you an example. If I say the electric field is, let's say 2x I cap plus 3y square j cap plus 4xy k cap. Okay. And obviously dr is taken as dx I cap plus dy j cap plus dz k cap. Now if I need to calculate, okay, I'll do this. E is equal to dv by dr, right? Okay, then I'll take v to be like this. If I need to calculate electric field along x, then what am I supposed to do? First, I need to calculate, so E is equal to minus dv by dr, right? So how do I calculate it? If I need to calculate the electric field along, so if I need to calculate the value of electric field along x direction, then what am I supposed to do to this? I need to write it as dou v by dou x. So what is dou v by dou x? You're differentiating the whole parameter only with respect to x. So derivative of 2x is how much with respect to x?
2.
It is 2i cap plus here what is going to happen? 3y square j cap plus 0 j cap plus, when I differentiate this, how are you going to do? 4xy is there, no? You're
4y.
differentiating with it is just 4y. 4y k cap. So this is going to be the electric field as a vector quantity. Then how are you going to write it as scalar? Those things you know. Square root of 2 plus 4y square and all those things. If suppose the value of x and y are given, you can substitute and solve it. But I hope this is clear, right? So we'll do this kind of problems also. Okay. So let's try out few problems and see. Suppose I give you this 8th one. Okay, let's do the 7th first. Let's try this. A spherically symmetric gravitational system of particles. Okay. A spherically symmetric gravitational system of particles has a mass density rho is equal to rho naught for r less than or equal to r, 0 for r greater than r, where rho naught is the density. A test mass can undergo a circular motion under the influence of the gravitational field of the particles. If the speed v as a function of distance r from the center of the system is represented by which graph? How to do? See, tell me one thing, guys. If this kind, see, you can expect these kind of questions only in the mains part. Generally, what they do is they give this mathematical part will be included. So, if suppose this comes, then how are you supposed to proceed? How will your mind start thinking?
So for less than r and for greater than r, how they vary?
Okay. So, what mathematical operations is expected to be applied in this problem? Whichever is a graph, right? Okay. Whichever problem involves graph, your mind should always start thinking in terms of functions. Okay, because they're given in terms of functions. Why I'm saying function is because depending on the problem, if suppose this problem, if I take, I'm sure that I need not do any integration or differentiation. Why? Because my work is only to draw a graph. And they've given certain values for which I can use a formula and solve it. So this doesn't need any integration or differentiation. Suppose the same thing is asked. For example, let's take an example of kinematics. Okay. If suppose they have given the value of acceleration as a function of time, let's say that it is 2x square for x less than 5, 3x square for x greater than 5, something like this they are giving. Okay. So if they give something like this and you're asked to then you're asked to calculate the graph between velocity and distance. If suppose the question is like that, then it clearly tells us that acceleration is a function of displacement. Then what are we supposed to do? Since acceleration is a function of displacement, there we need to involve calculus. Are you able to understand? Because they're not directly asking the graph between what? They're not asking the graph between acceleration and displacement. Rather, they're asking for velocity and displacement. So from acceleration, you need to get velocity. What are we supposed to do? You need to integrate it. Guys, are you able to understand? So wherever this kind of division of parameters is taking place, we need to involve functions, and the functions is the base for what? It is a base for calculus. Okay. In a similar context, I would like you guys to think this problem. You just try to draw a diagram and then approach. Why is no one speaking? Are you guys there on the other side? If you're not talking, I will not have motivation.
Yes, sir.
Others?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Check who all are there. Everybody is there, no? Then only one guy is speaking. Varun, you're there?
Yes, sir.
Why you're not speaking? I thought you'll ask many questions. Okay, let's see. Have more interaction, guys. Okay. Just tell me whether it is right or wrong. Anybody wants to tell me how to approach this question? Just tell me whatever is there in your mind. If suppose this question comes in your exam, how are you going to approach? A spherically symmetric gravitational system of particles has a mass density. It's nothing but a sphere, right? And its mass density is going to vary as rho naught from where to where. For a value of r, the distance which is less than or equal to r. Suppose I take a sphere. Okay, I take a sphere and the radius of the spherical part is r. So for any distance that I take between 0 to point P, how is the density varying? Is it a constant or varying? So in this case, fortunately, it's a constant value
Constant.
because they told rho naught. They didn't say rho naught into small r or rho naught divided by small r, nothing like that. It's a constant. And it is 0 outside because obviously there is going to be no mass outside. No? So they're not trying to define the mass density. So there is a test mass that can undergo circular motion under the influence of the gravitational field of the particles. Okay. If the speed v as a function of distance r from the center of the system is represented, then how is the graph going to look like? So here in this problem, there is an important hint. It is similar to the previous problem that we did. So if you place a test mass, let's say the test mass is small m, okay? If the test mass small m is undergoing what kind of a motion? It needs to undergo circular motion under the influence of what? The gravitational field of the particles. Then they are expecting us to write the expression for v as a function of r. So first we need to obtain the mathematical expression. What are we supposed to do? So for any object in circular motion, what is necessary?
Centripetal force.
Obviously, so centripetal force. So if I take mv square divided by r, they have clearly mentioned the question. This mv square by r for the test mass is happening due to whom?
Gravitational field of
Attraction
particles.
between. It is due to the gravitational attraction between.
Test mass and the sphere.
It is between the test mass and the source system, right? So you have the gravitational system of particles. So gm divided by, can I write it as r square? Guys, are you able to understand? So r and r will get cancelled, m and m will get cancelled. So v square is equal to g into capital M divided by r. Right? We have obtained the general expression. Correct? For this problem, what are we supposed to do?
Sir, can we write ms 4 by 3 pi r cube into rho naught?
See, you could have written it as 4 by 3 pi r cube, provided it is a complete sphere. It's a good question. But here, oh, it says 1 minute. It's a 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. Sorry. Yeah, you tell me now. You can write ms. Yeah, Varun, please tell me.
4 by 3 pi r cube into rho naught. Volume
So
into
g
density.
into, so 4 by 3 pi, what r?
Capital R.
Why will you write capital R?
Oh, sorry, sir. Okay.
See, what if the mass was
Smaller,
here?
smaller.
It will be
Smaller.
smaller, 4 pi r cube into, what you're saying is right, into, just write it as density, rho divided by r. I hope this makes sense. So 4 by 3 pi g r square into rho. This is v square. Correct, Ada? This is what you're trying to say.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what can we do with this?
Here you can say V square is directly proportional to R square. So V is directly proportional to R.
Very good. V square is directly proportional to r square, which implies v is directly proportional to r. See, what exactly you're going to get is v will be equal to square root of 4 by 3 pi g rho into r. This whole thing is a constant. So v is equal to some constant into r. Correct? So what does it represent?
Straight line.
Straight line
It's a straight line till what point?
till R.
Till which r? So
Capital
here
R.
one change I need to do is, you people told me the general value, it is rho. So for r less than or equal to r, what I should have done is I should have written it as rho naught. For r greater than r, what would have happened? Capital
Zero.
M is 0. So v will be equal to 0, right? So what will be the answer then? But none of the options are matching, no? So there are only two values, that is A and C are possible, because from small r to capital R, what are they trying to say? It is going to be a straight line. So y is equal to mx. For the value greater than capital R, what is going to happen? We are getting 0, but there is no 0 anywhere. But according to the question they have given, rho is 0. So I think there is a mistake. Because when we say rho is equal to 0, if you substitute it here, then what will happen? V should be 0. So the graph should have been like this. Right? So this is what the answer is.
Sir, should we consider that formula, that potential due to uniform solid sphere inside the surface, that formula?
But how will you consider it? Inside means, what are you trying to say? Okay. 1 minute, wait. See, one mistake which I did here is, wait. See, this whole part is there, no? What is going to be the mass that is going to be concentrated within this? Varun, can you tell me again? So what will be the value of capital M for the value of R greater than capital R? Why is it 0? It is 4 by 3 pi into, see, the difference is, here we took it as small r cube, because when you consider the mass M to be inside, when it is within this part, when it is small r, it is 4 by 3 pi r cube into rho. Is that right? Now the question is, when it is greater, then how much is the total mass that is going to be concentrated at this point? It will be 4 by 3 pi into, is it not capital R cube into rho naught? They are only saying that here outside there is no density that is found, but inside there is still density that is existing, no? So this whole mass can be treated as it is concentrated at the center, which is going to be a constant value. Are you guys able to understand what is the difference between this one and this one? Is there anyone who is not able to understand? You want me to repeat it? See, it's very simple. In this problem, what is that I need to find? V square is equal to Gm divided by R. Correct? So this is what I got. G into capital M divided by R is the value of V square. So in this, G is constant and R is a variable. They have given it as a function of the distance is given. But what else is changing? It is a mass that is changing. So mass of the object is given as 4/3 pi small r cube into rho. Can I write it like this? Now the question is, when the value of R is less than capital R or equal to capital R, the value of R is still taken as small r only. That is 4/3 pi small r cube into what is the value of rho within R? What is the value of rho for the value less than or equal to R?
Not.
It is rho naught. So here, which parameter is a constant and which is changing? 4/3 pi is a constant, rho naught is a constant, R cube is changing. Whereas for R greater than R, what will happen? The total volume that consists the mass is 4/3 pi into capital R cube into, it is still rho naught. Why I'm writing rho naught here is because the total volume is containing this much amount of density. Outside it is not there. Are you able to understand? So outside it is not there. So for outside value, it is going to be a 0. But due to the inner mass that is present, it is going to still contribute to the gravitational pull. So 4/3. So this problem, how we are supposed to solve is when we have V square is equal to G into capital M divided by R. G divided by R into capital M is how much? 4/3 M into, 4/3 pi R cube into rho. This and this will get cancelled. 4/3 pi rho G into R square is what is V square. So V will be equal to root of 4/3 pi rho G into R. Okay. So this is the value. Or, so this is the value for what? R less than or equal to R. For R greater than R, what is the value of M? So V square will be equal to G into 4/3 pi capital R cube into rho naught divided by R. So what will be the value of V? It will be square root of 4/3 pi G capital R cube divided by root of R. So in this case, V is inversely proportional to root of R. So there is no mistake in the diagrams they have given. So for R less than or equal to R, V is directly proportional to R. For R greater than R, it is inversely proportional to root of R. So which graph is right, guys?
Option C.
Yes.
That is right. Okay, that's right. And Varun, I just wanted to confirm one thing. What exactly you were saying? You were trying to bring in spheres, something into consideration. What was it? Can you explain?
Illa sir, there was one formula like potential inside
See,
solid.
that's what I'm trying. Correct, that the potential inside the solid sphere, நீ என்ன பண்றேன்னா அந்த formula வந்து it is derived under what condition? இதுதான் நீ சொல்ற. Potential inside a solid sphere, you're trying to say this is the value. Correct, minus gm divided by the solid sphere. It is minus gm divided by r. Correct. This is what you thought. Correct me if
Yes.
I'm wrong. Yes, this is what you thought.
Right and the next formula right la irukku.
இதுவா?
inside this surface னு கொடுத்திருக்கு. அதனால மேபி அத கன்சிடர் பண்ண.
Correct, but maybe கிடையாது. இது எப்ப யூஸ் பண்ணிருக்கோம்? When are we supposed to use this? See, அதுதான் சொல்றேன். ஒரு ஃபார்முலா படிக்கிறப்ப you need to understand what is the reason behind it has come. Okay, this is derived under a completely different scenario. Here it is the total mass is taken into consideration, and here we don't know whether the density is varying according to this function. Correct? We don't know whether the density is varying according to the values that they're given in this question. This question has a specific variation of density. Are you able to understand why you're not supposed to use that?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So next time onwards, be cautious about it. See, suppose what they could have done is they could have written it as rho naught into r. That's a small change that they're going to do when they give it for the next time. At that time, you need to approach it according to that concept. That's it. Okay. So fortunately for this problem, we need not do any integration or differentiation. Can we try this? If g is the acceleration due to gravity on the Earth's surface, the gain in potential energy of an object of mass m raised from the surface of the Earth to a height h equal to the radius of the Earth. They're asking, see, read the question carefully. They're saying that the g value of acceleration due to gravity on the surface of the Earth is small g. They're asking what is the gain in potential energy. Gain means you need to calculate the final value minus the initial value. How do we approach, guys? Okay, so tell me. The object is on the surface of the Earth. It has been taken to a height h, which is equal to r. So on the surface of the Earth, what is going to be the potential energy? It will be minus g capital M into small m divided by capital R. This is on the surface. When it is raised to a height h, it will be minus g into capital M into small m divided by r plus h. But here h is equal to r, so can I write it as 2r? Does this make sense, guys? So what is going to be the gain? Final minus initial. So what is going to be the answer? Minus g, it will actually be plus g m into small m divided by 2r. So if I multiply with r and divide it with r, so gm divided by r square is what? It is small g, right? So m into small g into r, the whole divided by 2. Is there an option like this? Yes. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's think of this. Let's do the next question. Two spherical planets, P and Q, have the same uniform density, rho, masses MP and MQ, and surface area A and 4A respectively. A spherical planet R has a uniform density rho and its mass is MP plus MQ. The escape velocities from the planets PQ and R are VP, VQ, and VR respectively. Then what is the relation between them? Tell me how to do. So there are two spherical planets P and Q which have the same uniform mass density, rho. The masses of the planets are MP and MQ and the surface areas are A and 4A respectively. So there is a spherical planet R which also has a uniform density rho, but its mass is MP plus MQ. So for all the three planets, we need to calculate the escape velocities. How are we going to do it? How to do?
Sir, direct formula வச்சு compare பண்ணலாமா sir?
Yes, பண்ணலாம்டா. But in the direct formula use பண்ணனா, here they have given some specific conditions. No, we have to think whether they are useful. They have given the mass of the planet and they are speaking about density. We need to think about it. Also, they have given surface areas. Right. So, what is the direct formula? Escape velocity for an object for the planet P is going to be how much?
Sir, surface area கொடுத்திருந்தாக்க you can find R, no sir, for each planet.
Yes. So, they have given the surface area for us to calculate what? இப்போ general formula என்னதுடா? Escape velocity formula, it is root of 2g into r, where g stands for acceleration due to gravity on that particular surface and r stands for the radius of that particular planet. Correct?
Yes sir.
Okay, if you take it like this, but tell me one thing, can I use this formula? Can I use it as root of 2g into r here?
No sir.
Why?
Because acceleration due to gravity changes.
Yes, that's right. So what is the other formula that I need to use? I can use it as root of 2gm divided by r. Can I use it like this?
Yes sir.
So g will be a universal constant, whereas m for that planet is given in this question. So it is easy for us to calculate. So r is not known. To calculate r, we will use the concept of surface area. Now tell me, how do we do? So mass of planet P is going to be density of that planet into the volume of it, 4 by 3 pi into radius of P cube. Correct?
Yes sir.
No. Now how do we find the radius of P?
Sir, A is equal to 4 pi rp square.
Okay. A is equal to 4 pi rp square. Okay. With this, what are you going to do?
Find R sir. Rp from that. Substitute in
Okay.
that equation.
rp will be equal to A divided by 4 pi under a root.
Whole
Are you
root.
trying to say this?
Yes sir.
Okay. I have a doubt. Here, if you're writing rp in terms of A, do we have any data about the planet R?
Sir, புரியல sir. What?
இல்லடா நான் என்ன சொல்றேன்னா, if you write rp in terms of A, I'm sure rq also will come in terms of A because you have a 4a. But I have another important question. If I use the same kind of approach, will I be able to solve the problem using R? Because with respect to R, what have they given? They have given only density and mass of the planet. They have spoken nothing about the area.
Sir, but MP plus MQ is given, no, sir.
That is mass, da. That is mass. See, I'm repeating it again. Read this question carefully. I'm trying to analyze the data. I'm just trying to think all the possibilities. Okay. இப்போ இங்க வந்து they have given mass of the planet and they have given the areas for the first two. So it is easy for me to calculate. So that's the idea you got, and you wanted to find, since I need R here, in the formula R is required, you're trying to say we'll find R in terms of A. Correct? That is what your mind thought of. If RP we can find RQ, if I use a similar logic, I'm going to get 4A divided by 4 pi. Okay, that's what I understand. In a similar, so if I take these two and substitute it here, will I be able to calculate the value of RR in terms of area of the planet? Are you able to understand? My question is very specific.
Yes, sir.
So aren't we going to get stuck because they didn't speak anything about the area? So what are we supposed to do? What else can we think of?
Sir,
What are the other?
can you write it as 4 pi rq square divided by 4 pi rp square equal to 4? அது மாதிரி பண்ணும்.
Tell me.
Surface area இது அவங்க கொடுத்திருக்காங்க A4.
Surface area. Okay.
Get the relation between radius of the planet at least first.
Okay, tell me what is it you're able to think? So surface area is given as 4 pi rp square. Okay. What do you want to
Sir,
write the
so you
volume?
can write as 4 pi RQ square divided volume is surface area 4 pi RQ square divided by 4 pi RP square equal to 4. ஏன்னா அது A4 ன்னு கொடுத்திருக்காங்க அங்க.
Okay. A divided by 4a divided by 4 pi rq square. So you're thinking like this. If you correct, A and A will get cancelled. So you'll get rp by rq is equal to 1:2. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
I could have got that from here also. No, it is the same thing again.
Okay.
Correct. புரியுதா எங்கெல்லாம் ஸ்டக்
அது
ஆகும்னு
யூஸ் ஆகுமா இல்லையான்னு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டெப்.
அதான் சொல்றேன். We will try. Nothing wrong in saying. Even see, I'm just sharing the idea of how to think, how I think. That's what I'm trying to think in all the possible ways. You will understand. You'll understand how you're supposed to solve these problems quick. If you think of all the negative aspects that are going to fail, actually, then that is what my approach is. Try panna. Yeah, area time. See, one thing I want to conclude here is: are you guys able to understand why we are not supposed to think only in terms of area? Is that point clear? Okay. Now tell me, is it possible for us to find the relation between the mass of the objects? Is it possible for us to find the exact masses? If suppose, why I'm thinking, I'll tell you why.
It will be 8:1, sir.
But will it be?
It will be 8:1 because
How?
ஏன்னா it's proportional to the cube root of the radius.
Which one? Mass is directly
Actually,
proportional to the
cube root, cube of
Cube.
radius.
cube of radius. That's right. That's right. So what you're thinking now is right. I'll tell you why they didn't give you the area in the other two. In the third case is because they've told MP plus MQ. So they're expecting you to solve the problem in terms of mass itself. And they have told something about the density. So indirect information is given in this question. Varun, what you told is right, but try to be more specific. Okay. So if the mass of the planet P, if I take it as M, then if I take the radius of the planet P as R, okay, then what is going to be the mass of the planet Q according to the theory that they have given? One thing I'm able to understand is mass of a planet is directly proportional to radius of the planet times radius of the planet power 3. Correct? So what is going to be the mass of Q? Since radius of planet P is equal to 1 by 2 times radius of planet Q, what is going to happen to the masses, guys? Or I can say RQ is equal to 2 times RP. Then what will happen to mass of Q in comparison to mass of P? Mass of P is taken as reference for everything. Then it will be 8 times
mass
M.
of B.
Yes. Then radius of Q will be 2 times radius of P. That is already known. That is R. Got it, guys? So that is 2 times R. Now, is it easy for us to calculate the mass of the radius, mass of the planet R? How do we calculate it? It is easy. We got it as 9m. But what is going to be the radius of planet R? This is where we get stuck. How do we calculate it? Since we know the mass of the planet R, they have told the density is still the same. Density is equal to mass of the planet R divided by the radius of the, divided by the volume of the planet R. What is mass of R? That is 9m divided by what is volume of R? It is going to be 4 by 3 pi R cube. Guys, are you clear with this? So what will happen to the radius? Or I can take it like this. I took an important relation into consideration. What is that? I told you that the mass of a planet, which we are trying to talk about here, is directly proportional to radius Q. So mass of the planet is 9m means what will be the radius of the planet R? Correct? 9m is directly proportional to RR cubed. Okay, so the radius of the planet will become 1/3, 9 raised to the power 1/3 into 9 raised to the power 1/3 times R. That's what I wrote. I took the proportionality into consideration. Is there any doubt, guys? Now tell me, what is the escape velocity on planet P? It is root of gm divided by rp. Gm, it is root of 2gm, right? It is root of 2gm divided by rp. Vq is equal to root of 2gm divided by rq, and Vr will be equal to root of 2gm divided by rr. Now tell me, what are we supposed to do? So what is the relation between RP, RQ and RR? RP, RQ and RR. If RP is taken as R, RQ is 2R, there is 9 power 1/3. 9 power 1/3 is how much?
Something greater than 2.
Yes, because 2 power 1/3 is 8 power 1/3 is 2. Yes, 2 point something, it's something greater than 2. So it is in this ratio. But VP is inversely proportional to R. Now what can you talk about the relation? So obviously VR is greater than VQ is greater than VP. Then what else is the other important conclusion that we can make? It's more than one option correct. What about VR by VP?
Sir, you can write it as VP by VQ equal to square root of MP by RP divided by square root of MQ by
But
RQ.
oh, here it is MP, right? That is also there. Okay. Yes. 1 minute, 1 minute. Did I miss something? If you take the mass into consideration, VP will be equal to root of 2G into, what is MP, guys? MP is M divided by RP is R. What is VQ? It is root of 2 into G into 8M divided by 2R. VR is how much? Root of 2G into 9M divided by 9 power 1/3 times R. So this 9 will cancel this. So how many times are you going to get? 9 and 9 power 1/3 will get cancelled how many times? So what is that you're left out with? It will be 9 power 2/3 divided by R times M. So 9 square is 81. 81 to the power 1/3 is how much? Okay. So when you do a comparative study, what we can say is this will get cancelled. So in which case is the numerator more? In the case of R only, yes. So again, VR is greater than VQ is greater than VP. Okay. So this is right. Now what can you say about VR by VP? VR by VP over square root of 9 power 2/3 divided by 1. Is it coming out as 3? I don't think it will come out as 3. So that is not going to work. So what about VP by VQ? VP is 2 GM by R. VQ is 8 gm by r, both are under a root. This and this will get cancelled. So 1 by 4. So answer will come out as 1 by 2. So Vp by Vq is 1 by 2. So this answer holds good. Got it, guys? Did you understand what are all the things we are supposed to take into consideration? And luckily, you could do this proportionality concept because in this case, what was the important point? Can you tell me what are all the important data in this question? According to me, the most important data in this question is the density. Had the densities been different, right, we would have actually got a different answer. The approach would have completely changed. So you can expect these kind of problems also. Okay. Next. Next. So let's try the 14th one. This 14th one will come as an integer type question in the current exam. Let's try this. So gravitational acceleration on the surface of the planet is root of 6 by 11 times g. Sorry, root 6 by 11 times g, where g is the acceleration due to gravity on the surface of Earth. The average mass density of the planet is 1 by 3 times that of the Earth. If the escape speed on the surface of the Earth is taken as 11 kilometers per second, the escape speed on the surface of this planet would be how much?
Sir, root of 8 pi g rho re square by 3. And the formula you have to put these values, sir.
Here we don't need density in order.
Oh, direct root 2 g re.
Yes, that's enough. Is the density earlier? Oh, irka. 1 minute, wait. The average mass density. Oh, I didn't see that. The average mass density of the planet is 1 by 3 times that of the Earth. Okay, you can use that formula. That's right.
Sir, appo arc?
Maybe they are expecting us to calculate R from that concept only. So that's what the difference between the previous and this one. See, so there are two planets, right? One is some planet and the other is Earth. So gravity g on planet is equal to root 6 by 11 times g. Let this be equation number 1. This is given. Escape velocity on Earth is 11 kilometers per second. We need to calculate the escape velocity on the planet. The density of the planet is equal to 1 by 3 times the density of Earth. So what can we do with this? So escape velocity on Earth, what is the formula? That is root of, see, actually it is root of 2g into r, but in the place of r, how do we write it? So what is that formula? I don't remember it. Can you tell me? It is 3 by 4 something, right? R is nothing but rho divided by 4 by 3 pi r cube. Sorry. What is that formula? I think I wrote it in the place of mass, no? Root of 2gm divided by r. In the place of m, we write it as rho into 4 by 3 pi r cube. This is the formula. Da? So 8 by 3 pi g rho r square under a root. Yes. So can we apply this? 8 divided by 3 pi g into rho into radius of Earth square. So that will be square root of density of Earth divided by the density of planet into RE square divided by RP square. So we got stuck with this value, RE square by RP square.
Sir, we can write density of Earth as 3 times density of planet.
That we can do. What about radius? So root of that we can do. 3 into what can you write? What can you say about RE and RP? So there's a problem again based on the ratios, right? So since they have given in terms of small g, if I think in terms of small g itself, what am I going to get? See, escape velocity on the planet is root of 2g into r. I will write 2gp into rp. Velocity on Earth, right? Can I write it like this? So density of Earth is equal to mass divided by mass divided by 4 by 3 pi r e square. If I write it like this, I need RE in terms of density. It will be mass divided by 4 by 3 pi into rho. Correct? This is RE square. So there's mass of Earth. So can I say that the radius of Earth is inversely proportional to rho e? Or RE square is inversely proportional to rho e. Will we be able to use this? Let me try. So they have given the acceleration due to gravity. So what is the acceleration due to gravity formula? Small g is equal to capital G m divided by r square. Okay. Is there anywhere where I can write mass in terms of density? Mass will be 4 by 3 times pi r cube into rho. So G will be equal to capital G into 4 by 3 pi r cube into rho divided by r square. Right? So this and this will get cancelled. So acceleration due to gravity will be equal to 4 by 3 times G pi radius into rho. Yes, I think this should solve the problem. See guys, yeah, I got it. So observe. So the acceleration due to gravity on any planet can be written in terms of its density like this. That is 4 by 3 times G into pi into R into rho. Since in this problem, radius is our issue, but acceleration due to gravity is given, we can write radius as 3 by capital G into pi, okay, into small g divided by rho. Does this make sense? Guys, are you able to understand? So here, what we are trying to say is, I'm trying to write the relation for the radius of a planet in terms of its acceleration due to gravity and its density, which are the parameters given in this question. So it is a question specific formula. It is not a general formula again. So 3 divided by g pi into small g divided by rho. Is there anyone having doubt till this step? Now, can I write the escape velocity on the planet divided by the escape velocity on Earth is equal to root of 2g on the planet into radius of the planet divided by 2 times g on Earth into radius of Earth. So 2 and 2 will get cancelled. It will be square root of what is the acceleration due to gravity on the planet? That is root of 6 by 11 times g, where g is the acceleration due to gravity. Then what can I speak about the radius of the planet as? It will be 3 divided by 4 pi into again a root 6 by 11 times small g, the whole divided by, can I write it as the density of the planet, the whole divided by. Okay, now see, this whole thing should get divided by g into radius of Earth is again small g into 3 by 4 pi, sorry, it is g pi, 4 by g pi, the whole divided by rho. So g and g are gone. 3 by 4 g pi is gone. So what is that you are left out with? Root of 6 by 11 pi into root of 6 by 11 pi is, it is root 6 by 11 into square root of density of Earth divided by density of planet. How much is this value, guys? Root of 6 by 11 times root of, what is the density of Earth by density of planet? It is 3, right? So it will be root 18 by 11, which is Vp divided by V rho, VE, sorry. Then Vp will be equal to 11 into root of 18 divided by 11. This and this will get cancelled. Answer would be root 18. Guys, did you understand what I did?
Yes.
Okay. So it will be root 18 kilometer per second. I hope I didn't miss anything, right? Yeah. So please make a note of it. So tomorrow's class, we can try these analytical and descriptive problems. Okay. And then we'll finish with Kepler's law. Tomorrow itself, we'll complete this chapter. We'll do Kepler's law and motion of planets. So I suggest you all to revise all these concepts again. Okay. So any other doubt from today's class?
Sir,
Any other doubt, right?
Sir, can you give some homework from the JEE main book that you gave, sir?
Which one?
The JEE main
More questions.
the book ஒன்று கொடுத்தீங்க.
ஆமா.
இல்ல அதுல இருந்து கொஞ்சம் ஏதாவது homework ஏதாவது 5 questions ஏதாவது.
Homework na onnu reda. Now see what I'm doing is I'm doing previous year problems, no? What you can do is, see, for example, if I've taught the topic, there'll be some solved examples. Yeah, good, you reminded me. See, there'll be some solved examples in the book that I gave you, right? You do only the solved examples and approach me if you have any doubts. And those solved examples are slightly tough also. Why I'm saying it is tough? Because it will involve more than one concept in it. Generally for JEE means what will happen is you mostly will get a direct problem with a slight twist, but it is not like more than two or three concepts involved in it. If you are able to solve that, a part of that will be a JEE mains question. So you keep doing those problems first. புரியுதா நான் சொல்றது? So today,
Yes,
whatever we discussed. So we discussed on escape velocity, orbital velocity, the potential and all those things, right? You go to that particular page, you solve those problems. If you have any doubt, you can approach me. Okay, do it like that.
okay.
Okay. So each day, whichever subject is happening, you practice from that book. Okay, just try.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So is there any other doubt, guys? Why is no one speaking? I don't understand. That itself is draining half of my energy. Okay. Anyways, we'll see tomorrow.
Sir, tomorrow is physics, sir.